So I get to talk about one of the new technologies, which is quite interesting, and maybe a lot of people have heard of it but are not quite familiar with what it is. So this is a talk to introduce the concepts of blockchain technology. No relevant financial disclosures. Price bump. Also, there are many startups who happen to be either raising money or maybe trying to cheat people through what we call initial coin offerings, which is basically offering an alternate to Bitcoin, in conjunction with trying to raise funds for their startup, because people are hoping that those ICOs will also just be like that spike in Bitcoin. But then what's really interesting, if you study the technology further, is there's an element to blockchain that is something called decentralization. So normally when we store data, there's a centralized server or warehouse where all the data is stored for typical databases. But blockchain is a way for decentralization, so no single server storage, yet at the same time, all the servers can know exactly what's going on the other server, and it's very hard to hack. Because generally, with single servers, you have to put in a lot of protections to try to not allow that data to get accessed. And of course, hacking involves many things other than just programming hacking. There's always social hacking or getting insights into one place where everything's held. So this decentralization is a key concept to blockchain technology. And then simultaneously, what was very interesting to me in terms of Bitcoin and what's going on with AI and deep learning is that we need to get a lot of data for deep learning to work. Yet a lot of data is only stored on everybody's centralized server. Like, SingHealth may have one centralized server where they have all their data. STANFORD will have another centralized server where they house all their data, but none of them can really talk to each other, and there's concerns of privacy and breaking of encryption and not an incentive to share. So there could be a synergistic potential for AI where you can basically share all of that data, decentralized, encrypted, and secure, unable to hack, and at the same time train models for new machine learning algorithms for various diseases, because that data is in the cloud, decentralized, no one's getting single access to it. At the same time, the models are trained in the cloud. So I'll describe that further as we go along. But also, there's a medical record that they went to another hospital and it says they're also on Tylenol, and maybe another place says they're on Motrin and Lipitor. So the problem today is that the EHR is only a single snapshot. You have to continually update it yourself. It may not be synced because of interoperability problems. And so now if you had something in the cloud that everyone can access, with that blockchain, the prescription is kind of like a deposit. So when you discontinue medication, it's removed from the chain. When you add a new medication, it's added the chain. So in real time, it's updated, decentralized, everyone sees it all at once. And so this is the hope of a grand, maybe citywide EHR that you could create, or eventually nationwide, or eventually worldwide, for example. That would be the ideal state. Coming out that are basically trying to make this blockchain-based healthcare information system, and that's just one use case, for example, because you can easily identify who's adding to the chain, who's removing, it's decentralized. And if you're wanting to, maybe you're thinking right about now, how's that really different from cloud computing or peer-to-peer file sharing? Well, because the chain cannot include much information on it, the key is that you're uploading files into multiple pieces and stored across many different computers. So there's no one centralized server, whereas in cloud computing like Dropbox, you're actually uploading it to Dropbox and then you're synchronizing it to that one central server. So Dropbox can be hacked and you can lose all your files actually. And then also peer-to-peer file sharing, what's happening there is everyone uses the same software program to exchange the information across from computer to computer, but that also could still be hacked, as opposed to breaking up the information and making it synchronized simultaneously on all the nodes. So that's the main difference. Okay, so here's again the advantages: transparency, immutability, redundancy. A few weaknesses could be that the blockchain size is limited, or it could be used for non-legal activity, which is what happened in the initial beginnings. And then there's bad data could be written to the chain, of course, but we're hopefully doing it for a good reason, for healthcare data. And then there's still a lot that has to be done in terms of smart contracting. How do you access the data once it's on the blockchain? So basically, our unmet need is Medical data is locked in data silos, and we need to incentivize doctors to share data and improve medical research. So I happen to be working on something like that. We can talk about that later. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We move on to the next talk. The next talk is given by Mr. Grün van der Perre, and the talk is entitled Enterprise Imaging and Artificial Intelligence in Ophthalmology.